Now it's D-Day for alleged lookout man Mthokoziseni Maphisa in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, as the Pretoria High Court is expected to rule on his bid to have the case against him thrown out. Maphisa brought the discharge application after the state closed its case, arguing that prosecutors had failed to meet the threshold required for a potential conviction. He, along with 4 others, are charged with planning and executing the killing of former Bafana Bafana captain Senzo Meyiwa, allegedly at the behest of his then-girlfriend Kelly Khumalo. Linda Mnisi, live outside the courtroom for us as proceedings are set to kick off. Won't you just lay the scene for us, Linda? Good morning again.
Yeah, it's a big day for Mthokoziseni Maphisa, Arabile, as this ruling could have major implications on whether or not he proceeds with the trial or he goes back a free man. And going back, I mean going back to, serve a sentence in his other matter. Now, he's set out why he thinks that the state did not meet the barest threshold to at least prove that there's a possibility, rather, that there could be a conviction in the case against him. He has highlighted, like I indicated earlier on, the evidence of Constable Sizwe Zungu, but also the confession statement of accused number 2, that's Bongani Ntanzi, who implicates himself as having been part of the plot and the execution of the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. In the confession statement, he implicates Maphisa as having been part of this particular plot to kill Meyiwa. But his lawyers argued, Arabile, that Section 219 of the Criminal Procedure Act makes provision for the confession statement to be binding only on the deponent and not anybody else that is implicated therein. But the state arguing that there are enough safeguards in the confession statements to be admitted as hearsay evidence. In fact, they're saying that they agree with what Section 219, says. But the other aspects of the confession statement, which Mthokoziseni Maphisa is implicated in, are issues of fact that can be regarded as an outside of court statement, but also an executive statement wherein they prove or have the element of acting in common purpose, which is among some of the charges. So they believe that there are enough safeguards, for this particular evidence to be admitted at this point as hearsay evidence. But you'd also recall that the, Section 174 application or the discharge application does not necessarily deal with really the credibility of witnesses or even, analyzing the case holistically to prove indeed that the accused were involved in this matter. The legal test, like Kabelo Siabi explained to us earlier, is there enough evidence, at least, that puts the accused on his defense? Did the state bring evidence that would necessitate Mthokoziseni Maphisa to answer to the charges? And if the answer is no, then a verdict of not guilty is then given and he is set free, bringing the case to an end for him in this particular regard. But there's also, like I indicated earlier, the argument about Constable Sizwe Zungu, who seems or arguably is one of the key state witnesses. This is the only witness, Arabile, that says that, he saw the accused on that day. Of all the over 60 or at least 60 witnesses of the state that took the stand, he's the only one that claims to have seen the accused at the hostel where the alleged plan to kill Meyiwa was allegedly hatched. But his lawyers, and that is Mthokoziseni Maphisa's lawyers, are arguing his evidence is marred by contradictions and, casts doubt on his credibility. Take a listen to what they had to say.
Zungu's evidence, it must be noted, my lord, that it does not detail a plan by the accused to execute the assassination of the deceased. It does not place the accused together or even himself, Zungu, that he overheard such a plan. Zungu's evidence does not reveal any prior agreement amongst the accused, including accused number 4, to kill the deceased.
The counter-argument, Arabile, given by the state is that the evidence of Pinky Vitalingham from Vodacom actually corroborates what Zungu says. It places him at the hostel, and they believe that the evidence that Zungu tendered at that particular point is one that corroborates the cell phone records, but also these statements where accused number 2 says the planning of the murder of Senzo Meyiwa took place at that hostel. And where does Pinky Vitalingham's records place, the phone? It places that phone that belonged to accused number 3, in which Mthokoziseni Maphisa aligns himself with in hostel. And the state is arguing that that particular phone was at the Basotho hostel. So all of it, will be considered in this particular application, and that ruling will be made at exactly 10 o'clock.